We're live.
Close sources say it's bad news. Take it how you want it. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, whatever time it is for you right now. Just know that you are locked in onto the point with
Skip.
and the King. You guys know what to do. Go down there, click subscribe, click like, leave a comment. Thank you for your support very much. We appreciate it in our progress going through this. Skip, how you doing today, my man?
I'm good.
And then there were two.
Yeah, we got 5 last week, and we got just 2 of us this week. So we'll have to make it a good episode. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Double entendre, and then there were 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Oh,
Skip.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Oh, now you caught it. Okay, catch it. So, listen, Skip, you put out your playoff bracket. Unfortunately, I didn't get to put mine out, but you have no dogs in this race for the NBA Finals, for the 2022 NBA Finals. I personally did say Golden State in my bracket to make it to the NBA Finals. You did a few weeks ago with the one and only coach Tim Roach from the East Coast. Nick Nurse's doppelganger. Stop it, Skip. You guys did say Boston will make it to the finals. Now, Skip, based on your predictions and what you have seen that has apparently transpired, how do you feel about this year's NBA Finals, my friend?
Well, I want to say, first of all, when you look at my general playoff bracket, I had Phoenix, Milwaukee, but I would say that I would probably have placed Boston and Golden State number 2 on respectively in each conference, in terms of who was most likely to make it if the favorite got knocked off. So I don't think I was way off, even though I don't have a horse left in the race or a dog in the fight, as you said. Now, last week, or 2 weeks ago, before the conference finals, I came on here and I said, I expect Boston to beat Miami and I expect Golden State to beat Dallas. And that's where we're at right now. Those predictions came through.
You did say it.
I think in that show, I also said I expected Boston to take the whole title down. I'm going to say I am feeling less confident about that prediction, having seen what happened in the third round. But I can't go back on it. I've got to ride or die with my pick. I'm going to say Boston in 7 in this series. I think it's a really good matchup, right? We're talking about 2 very, very good defensive teams. I think at the end of the day, Golden State has a lot of the pedigree that you're looking for. They've got, obviously, this would be their what is it, 6 finals in 8 years.
Yep.
So they're kind of the team on paper that sort of looks like they have the narrative behind them. We'll get the boys back together. We're going to win this thing. But I think Boston, if we're being real honest with ourselves, Boston is the better team, or has the potential to be the better team. But I really think it could be a barn burner of a series. I don't know. What do you think?
You know what, Skip? I'm going to ride with my prediction. Steph Curry's my boy. Love that dude. So I'm still going to take what I said a few weeks ago. Like we were on here with the one and only coach Tim Roach. And I did say that I expect Golden State to win it. And I see them taking this out like you just said. You just said it right there, my dude. Barn burner.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be crazy. I expect Golden State to take them out in 7.
Yep.
Unless Scott Foster is refereeing. Okay? Let's get that. And if you guys did not catch that reference, Scott Foster is undefeated when it comes to Boston when he's refereeing during their games. In the playoffs.
I think it was
in the playoffs
series, right? The thing is, he always picks the team that is losing the series. He always whistles in their favor.
Because he's probably got a cousin out there somewhere betting on this, and he's like, "Okay, I got you, fam." You know?
Let's
Oh,
not go
come
there.
on.
We don't know those things, but yes.
We don't know. We don't know, but we can only have some presumptions and assumptions.
Yeah.
It can happen.
It can happen.
Right?
It has been known to happen. I will admit that. So
It does happen. But I do see Golden State coming out there, Skip. Now Golden State's lineup, it looks pretty good, but how would you see the matchups between? Well, obviously they're both in the NBA Finals, so they definitely have good lineups. So how would you see Golden State's lineup versus Boston's lineup, especially when it comes to defensive matches?
well, so yeah, so both of these teams are obviously totally elite on both sides of the ball. Most notably defensively, because we've got the number one defensive rating in the league against the number two defensive rating in the league. And when you look at the offensive side of the ball,
That's what it takes to win.
When you look at the offensive side of the ball, Golden State's middle of the pack, but a lot of that came in the times when Draymond was out and the time when Steph was out. Like, they have not had their full team.
Clay was out.
Yeah, they have not had their full team at all during the regular season. And what we've seen in the playoffs is they've gotten the boys back together. They've gotten the band back together, and they're wreaking havoc, just like they did 3 years ago, just like they did 6 years ago. And you go down that lineup, like, it rattles off the tongue, right? You got Steph, Clay, Draymond. Then you got Jordan Poole, like, coming up. He might be as good as any of them. Then, I mean, Andrew Wiggins is your number 5 guy. Like, this guy, yeah, he was miscast as a superstar, but, like, if he's your 5th starter, that's a hell of a lineup. And then, obviously, if they're healthy, you got guys like Iguodala coming off the bench. You got Gary Payton Jr., although I don't know if he's going to be active in this series. They say it's a game time decision for game 1. You got Kevon Looney. Like, these are all names we've heard in the past. These are all names that are big names in the league. And so you look at that and the way they performed in the playoffs, like, this team is dangerous, absolutely terrifying. And then you go over to the Boston side. You go over to the Boston side of the ball, and you're like...
That's also terrifying.
And it's a little... The names don't jump off the page in exactly the same way, right? Like, we all know Jason Tatum's an all-NBA player. We all know Jaylen Brown's a really, really good two-way player. But then Marcus Smart, is he really an elite NBA point guard? Like, you look at that and you think, yeah, he's okay. He's good. Like, then Al Horford, like, he's 36 or whatever it is. Like, he's a little, seems like he might be a little washed. And then Robert Williams III, I mean, obviously he's having a great year. He's having a breakout season. But, I mean, those 5 names, they don't jump off the page to me in the same way. But the thing...
And what's his name? Pickard? Who?
Peyton Pritchard? Well,
yeah.
Peyton Pritchard is not he's not going to be a game changer in the series. It might be an X factor. Anyway, so the names don't quite jump off the page, but what Boston does is they play as a team, and they really, really know how to do what they want to do against you, especially defensively. They're an absolute wall defensively. We saw that in the Miami series. Like, there were stretches when Miami just couldn't get anything going at all. And I think, and Boston, obviously, they've had their own kind of, we talk about Golden State putting things together in the playoffs after this messy regular season. Boston had that kind of same narrative, only it happened in January. It was like in January, it wasn't a health thing. It was let's figure out what the hell we're doing. Let's do it. Let's play as a team. In a lot of ways, they kind of remind me of the 2019 Raptors with, you got Horford, not position for position, but you kind of got your Al Horford as your Marc Gasol character. You got a team that's really got a strong defensive identity, a team that, just plays together and knows how to function off of one another. And I think this could be, like I said, just a terrific matchup. It's going to be really interesting to see so Boston's such a great defensive team. But if Golden State can go Splash Brothers on them, if Golden State can get off from 3, that's going to be kind of that one space where there might be room for them to get a little bit of separation and take control of the series. But if Boston gets shut down, Steph, Clay, I mean, this is the best defensive team that Golden State has faced this playoffs and probably has ever faced since, again, the 2019 Raptors. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen in this series, man. I'm trying to I'm trying to argue for Boston, but this is going to be messy. This could be a great
Really? And you're a
series.
Boston hater.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
Skip,
I
I
picked
got
Boston. I'm not cheering for Boston per se, but yeah.
Skip. Now, based on like you just said a little while ago, um, Golden State is going to the sixth NBA Finals in the last 8 years,
Yeah.
and this Boston squad is going for their first time as this squad, right? Even though yes, they have
First
been in top of
finals.
the Eastern
First
Conference
finals. Yeah.
as this squad. Yes, they have. Um, do you think what would you pick? Age over skill?
Well, again, I mean, I picked Boston because I think they are kind of that up and coming young team. You look at the ages on that Golden State roster, as much as they are kind of getting the boys back together and they are doing some of the things they used to do, this is a team that this is kind of their last hurrah, right? I mean, maybe not literally. I mean, I'm sure guys like Steph are going to stick around for a few more years, but you look at Clay, he's
I'd
what
say
is he,
maybe two
30?
more. What are you talking about?
Yeah, maybe not last hurrah, but I mean, I wouldn't expect them to rattle off 5 more finals appearances in a row if that's what you're talking about. But let's see, like, what are these guys? Steph is 33 now. Clay's 31. Draymond's 31. Like, this is the time when players start to enter the decline phases. And let's be honest, Steph has not been quite as sharp this playoffs. Clay obviously hasn't ever. He probably is never going to be quite the same player as he was before the injury. I mean, that was like a career-ending type of injury. He's still very good in his role, but he's not elite.
He's back.
Prime. He's not prime Clay. And again,
Okay.
Draymond, I mean, he does a lot of great things for you on offense. He does a lot of great things for you on defense. Not really going to be a great shooter, scorer character if other guys can't step up. And then you hop over to Boston and you look, these guys are so young still. I mean, Jason Tatum, 20, he's been in the league forever, he's 23. Jaylen Brown, 25. Marcus Smart, 27. Smart. Like, we're talking about guys who are just cutting into their prime. And as much as we say, like, this is our first appearance in the finals, like, yes, it is. But this team has been in the Eastern Conference Finals, I believe, 3 times before. Maybe it's only twice. I'll have to look that up real quick. Yeah, they've been in the Eastern Conference Finals at least twice before. They have been through some battles. Obviously, the Ime Udoka coming. That's another parallel for the 2019 Raptors is that first-year head coach and playing Golden State in the finals. Yeah, so sorry, we're talking about age. Yes.
Yes.
This is my train of thought here. Yeah.
Skip, are you getting old? Are you getting dementia?
I'm getting dementia a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So long story short, I think all of the actual statistical states have the Celtics favored pretty strongly in series. If you go over to 538, they actually have this series going to the Celtics 80% of the time, which seems ridiculously high for my standards. But I think what they are is they're looking at the data, they're looking at the whole season numbers, which obviously discounts some of Golden State's injuries. But they're also looking at the age, and they're looking at that kind of that gap there. Anyway, I wouldn't put it past Golden State having that one last hurrah and really just coming out and owning this series. But I do see a lot of parallels if Boston can drive through that hole that the Raptors opened up in this team 3 years ago. Obviously, it's a slightly different team. You're not talking about KD. Clay's healthy now. I mean, knock on wood. I'm not assuming he's going to tear another ACL or anything. But yeah, but I do think there's a path for the Celtics to win this series in exactly the same way that 2019 Raptors pulled it off.
That's interesting because I think the question that I brought to you is experience over age. I would definitely ride with the Warriors on this one. I think Boston does need some experience to gain that. And again, from your Toronto Raptors, I think that's going to be pretty lethal against them.
But
it's going
to let me just jump in real quick.
Next year. What?
That's 100% a thing. But I think Boston has a lot more experience than you're giving them credit for, because these guys have been through playoff battles. They haven't been through the finals yet. But I mean, again, the 2019 Raptors hadn't been to the finals yet, but they had struck out in the Eastern Conference Finals. They'd struck out in the second round. Like, and then if you go over to Boston, they're kind of in that boat where they are that team that had hit the wall for 3 or 4 years running, and now they finally pushed through and they're in the finals. So I don't think this is like, I mean, Memphis was a young team. Like, Memphis was a team that, like, they're going to be great, but they needed
they
to
don't
lose.
know. They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they
They're going
needed
to
to
be a
lose.
dynasty.
Yeah, but no, Memphis needed to lose in the first or second round, this year, because they're in that space in their learning curve. Boston, I don't think is in that space. I think Boston is here to win right now. It's just whether they can knock off a team that has been historically one of the best teams of all time. I mean, you talk 6 and 8 years, like, you're talking Michael Jordan territory there, like LeBron James territory there. Like, that's way up there.
Hold on, Skip. You just said 6 out of 8, and you compared it to LeBron.
Well, LeBron made 8 straight, so that's. I mean, come on. All right, hater.
We're not gonna get. I'm not a hater. We're just not gonna get into it. Okay. We can statistically get into it, but that's for another episode.
All right.
Skip. So I wanted to ask you another question. Now that everything is settled, and then there were 2, not you and I, ladies and gentlemen, it's Golden State Warriors versus the Boston Celtics. There is that lineage, and I enjoy this. It comes from Greg Popovich, because both coaches did coach for him. And now look where they are. Do you see? Are we going to see a lot of Craig Popovich's influence into this finals this year?
Well, I think Pop's influence stretches across the whole NBA. I don't think we're going to see quote unquote strategic influence. I don't even know what that would look like necessarily. I don't think these teams are built on a Spurs model directly,
Definitely not.
Yeah, unless you want to say just great players and playing as a team. Yeah, so I don't think there's a direct comparison there. I think it's just sort of this is the coaching tree, this is the lineage, and these Popovich disciples keep coming up through the ranks and keep popping up in bigger and bigger spots, and that's going to continue for years to come. I think long after he's out of the league.
I enjoy it. I really do love what Popovich has done for the league, and his whole mentality changed me as a coach. I enjoy it. I think it's great, and I'm really going to enjoy this. Skip, another question for you. Who you got coming out of Game 1?
Game 1?
Yeah.
Who
you got?
I mean, the easy answer is just the Celtics because I picked them. But I think Golden State. I could see Golden State coming out on fire in Game 1 and trying to send a statement.
You're damn right they will.
So I'll say Golden State, but again, I mean, don't put money on it because I said it. You asked me to pick a team. I'm putting money on it.
I already did.
I go 51% Golden State, 49% Boston. How about that?
Wow. Skip. So, anything else you have left to say towards these NBA finals? Because this is pretty much the end of the season for them. I guess you could say the end of the season for us until we talk about, close sources say it's bad news. Do you have anything?
Yeah, we might be hitting a little OG Anunoby content next week. Just a teaser. We'll see.
Pretty possible. Do you have anything left to say about the finals? Because I love your predictions, because I love to laugh at you at the end of every season. Give me something.
Nothing too much. I'm just really excited to see how these two defenses match up specifically with the other team's offenses. Because these are two great defenses, but these are also teams that have some real firepower offensively. Obviously, the Splash Brothers, as much as they've been injured and out for much of the regular season, like they're still terrifying. And I think Boston can play amazing defense, and if Clay and Curry can get off, it might not matter. And then on the other side of the ball, Boston's not quite as potent offensively, but again, like just a really, really good defensive, well-played series on both sides of the ball is what I'm expecting. And I think I kind of want this to go 7. I want this to be an all-time classic because the playoffs so far have been a bit of a joke. So, yeah.
You know what, Skip? I actually have some interesting stuff for you.
Okay.
In the last 10 games that Boston has played Golden State, Boston is 7-3.
How many seasons? How many seasons does that cover?
The last 10 games. I think it was.
That's like 5 years.
I think it was. Yeah.
That's like 5 seasons of data. Like that doesn't mean anything.
Hold on. I got another interesting stat for you.
Yeah.
Okay. When it comes down to Boston and Golden State, this is the first time where the leading scorer, well, since 1996, where a leading scorer on each team was drafted by the team and they face each other. Interesting.
First time?
Interesting.
That seems I get what you're trying to say, but that seems suspicious.
It's interesting. Forget the super teams. It's interesting because these teams have been building themselves.
There is this whole narrative of built, not bought. But remember, they did trade for Andrew Wiggins, and I think that was the D'Angelo. I think that was part of the KD thing.
They got Kevin Durant at one point.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. They got Wiggins out of Durant, so that's not exactly homegrown. But yeah, I mean, they are kind of homegrown teams. It is kind of a nice narrative, a nice story.
It's a nice feel.
I got a number for you. So these two teams are the two best teams in the league at preventing their opponents from getting to the rim. So I think that's again, it's going to mean that this series is going to really be played from outside in the mid-range, which might play to Golden State's favor, but we'll see.
I would like to see the inside. That would be cool. That's the real battle. Holy crap, Skip! You just brought that up. Gee.
Yeah.
Okay. So, before we finish off, give me your final line. You said Boston in 7?
Yeah, Boston in 7.
Okay. I got Golden State in 7.
All right. Maybe it'll go to overtime, and then we'll both get to take credit. Say we're right.
We'll see each other for that beer for whoever wins. Okay.
All right.
Guys, then number 2. I said it again for the 3rd time. My math ain't working. Okay. Skip, good to see you again. Yeah, man, it's been a great ride. We'll see you guys next week. We have a bunch of topics that we would like to speak about. You guys let us know. Let us know what topics you want us to cover, and we will gladly go out there and do that for you. So
it's trade season, baby. Trade rumor season, I should say.
Exactly.
And draft season.
Exactly. Right? Maybe that 7th pick. We're not getting into that. But guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with us up until this point. You guys know what to do. Go down there, click subscribe, click like, leave a comment. We still have another giveaway. We got a Raptors hoodie that's going to come out just for you guys. You guys know what to do. Simon Brodeur right there. SimonBrodeur.com. Go buy the book. At Dougie J's. It's baseball season. Get at him. Bother him. Keep him awake at night. Please do me that favor. You guys know what to do. You can find me anywhere at King Hussein. So on behalf of myself, Skip, and all our fantastic guests that ever come on this show, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, and
peace.